Hello, magical friends! Especially Nancy, the newest member of the WZRD Patreon, whose support lets me do these interviews. I'm your host, Witch Bess, and today I'm talking to SlytherPuff. It's good to see such strong inter-house cooperation, don't you think? I also need to note that I had significant technical difficulties this week, so while I've done my best, the sound quality is a little strange in the second half of the interview. Fortunately, it's just on my end, so you'll be able to enjoy SlytherPuff just fine. But before we get into all that, here's Neville's Diary and Dragon Wrench.
Year 5, February 21st. After all these years, Draco still won't leave me alone. What I'm learning in the DA? You better watch out. Wait, how's this song go? What have you done with my remembrance? Shame I feel hurts worse than a bludgeon to the skull. Entitled privilege sycophant. My poster hears me planning my revenge. Push and play. Push and play. Push and play. Don't wanna be your dragon wrench. Which incantation puts this to an end? Harry, please don't come to my defense. Not gonna be his dragon wrench. Hope it doesn't come to violence. Fire with fire doesn't really make much sense. Is it smoke and mirrors to impress his friends? Won't cower to his childish whims in the end. Push and play. Push and play. Push and play. Don't wanna be your dragon wrench. Which incantation puts this to an end? Harry, please don't come to my defense.
fine ship is a Circe, she sailed the wide world round. Her home port is a Durmstrang, for Hogwarts we were bound. Bearing Crumb, our champion, revered in every land. Karkaroff in his cabin, and Victor was in command. Watch the weather now cast together, now see the lover lads quail. Shrouds of shivering timbers quivering through Charybdis we sail.
Victor summoned the maelstrom, and down its depths we steered. Though the waters engulfed us, in Hogwarts Lake we appeared. There victorious Victor received his due acclaim, when the Goblet of Fire produced his prominent name.
Watch the weather now cast together, now see the lover lads quail. Shrouds of shivering timbers quivering through Charybdis we sail. Autumn soon turned to winter, alas turned Victor's head.
Over our ship the Circe, a flow of romance spread.
When a dueling disaster leaked potion in the lake, giant squids surmounted our galleon by mistake. Watch the weather now cast together, now see the lover lads quail. Shrouds of shivering timbers quivering through Charybdis we sail. Victor was framed as a villain who wrecked the final task. Murder, mayhem, and magic, but Moody soon was unmasked. Though they soon would be parted, Crumb's sweetheart vowed to right. Karkaroff like a coward slipped softly into the night. Watch the weather now cast together, now see the lover lads quail. Shrouds of shivering timbers quivering through Charybdis we sail. Though dark arts we have studied, our hearts are ever true. Speaking truth is our power, the Dark Lord soon will be through. Our home port still at Durmstrang, we sail the Circe on, seeking out every dark mark till all his minions are gone. Watch the weather now cast together, now see the lover lads quail. Shrouds of shivering timbers quivering through Charybdis we sail. Watch the weather now cast together, now see the lover lads quail. Shrouds of shivering timbers quivering through Charybdis we sail.
Oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, and on the grounds there was a willow, a were-willow, a wampin willow, the willow on the grounds of the grounds down in the Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, and on that willow there was a limb, a rare limb, a wampin limb, the limb on the willow and the willow on the grounds of the grounds down in the Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, and on that limb there was a branch, a rare branch, a wampin branch, branch on the limb and the limb on the willow and the willow on the grounds of the grounds down in the Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, and on that branch there was a fist, a rare fist, a wampin fist, the fist on the branch and the limb and the limb on the willow and the willow on the grounds of the grounds down in the Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, and on that fist there was a ford, a rare ford, an Anglia ford, ford on the fist of the branch of the limb and the limb and the willow on the grounds down in the Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, and in that ford there was a potter, a rare potter, a Harry Potter, potter in the ford and the fist and the branch and the limb and the limb on the willow on the grounds down in the Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, and on that potter there was some hair, a rare hair, ever-growing hair, the hair on the potter and the ford and the fist and the branch and the limb, the willow on the grounds down in the Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, and in that hair there was a scar, a rare scar, a lightning scar, scar on the hair and the potter and the ford and the fist and the branch and the limb and the willow on the grounds down in the Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts, and in that scar there was a soul, a rare soul, Tom Riddle's soul. The soul and the scar and the scar and the hair and the hair and the potter and the potter and the four and the four and the fist and the branch and the branch and the limb and the willow and the willow and the grounds down in the Hogwarts. Oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. Oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. Oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts. Oh, row the wampin willow, the willow down in Hogwarts.
That was Dragon Wrench by Neville's Diary, Potterwatch and Durmstrang, and Chasitharin with Wampin Willow. Here's the interview with SlytherPuff. Welcome to the show, Marin and Morgan. I'm so excited to talk with y'all.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, we're very excited to be here.
I like to start with your history with Wizard Rock. Your Facebook says you started writing songs in 2010. Is that when you first learned about the music? How did you get into the genre?
I'm Marin, and I'm the Slytherin of our group. My first experience with Wizard Rock was going to see Harry and the Potters. My mom found out about them, I think, probably through a library or something. Like, we went to a show they had in a park somewhere, and then we bought their first 2 CDs, and I was just kind of obsessed with them ever since then. And then I saw them, I think, 3 or 4 times after that, and started bringing other friends along. And one of our favorite Minneapolis venues shut down, the Triple Rock, but I saw them there, and Neil Ciceriga, who does Potter Puppet Pals, was there at that time. So I got to meet him. So that was pretty fun. And Morgan and I have just been a fan of Potter for years. So we went to high school together, and we used to live close by each other with my dad's place, and we wrote our first song in his basement in 2010 just for fun. And since then, like, we hadn't done music until Morgan asked if we wanted to do our local convention, Convergence, in 2017. So that's when we really started writing more together.
Yeah. I'm Morgan. I'm the Hufflepuff of the group. And I believe I learned about Wizard Rock from Marin. Like she said, we went to high school together, but we were also in a couple musicals together. So we already knew, like, we both really liked music and we both sang. And so, you know, we connected over our love of Harry Potter and other things. So then when we realized that we were actually like half a block away from each other, we were hanging out, and she had her guitar, and we were like, let's just write a song. So we wrote our very first song together. That was back in 2010. And then years later, I wanted an opportunity to perform. And so I thought of Convergence. They have a music performance like group, HarmCon, Harmonic Convergence. And I was thinking, well, I don't really want to do it by myself. Who can I like drag along on stage with me? And Marin was the first person I thought of. So I was like, hey, do you just want to do this? It's an hour. We're already going to be at Convergence. Do you just want to do this? And she said, yeah. And that was kind of the birth of SlytherPuff.
I love that. Now, I think we can guess generally, but how did the name SlytherPuff happen? Were there other names in contention?
So when we were starting, we were writing a few different Harry Potter songs, and because of my background knowing different Wizard Rock groups, I was thinking about names for related to Harry Potter. And so that's where I was like, well, I'm a Slytherin, you're a Hufflepuff, why not SlytherPuff? And then that was not really a unique name after we started looking things up. I think there was some other group called SlytherPuff too, but I couldn't come across any of their actual work. So I feel like we're in the clear in that. Yeah. But we kind of started branching out more, not specific to Harry Potter. And so the name at sometimes we're like, does this really fit us anymore or not? Because we don't only write Harry Potter songs. We write a lot of different fandom songs. So we've got Harry Potter, we've got Lord of the Rings, we've got Marvel, DC, Mad Max, Doctor Who. Yeah. Like, we're going across the whole geekdom spectrum of songs and different styles. We change up how our songs sound all the time. We don't have really one specific sound. We make tracks to sing to. We use guitar, ukulele, I'm always buying new instruments, so I'm always
She has a lot of instruments now.
like, ooh, we can write a song with this one now. So it's just not too specific to Harry Potter anymore. And sometimes we're like, well, what could we do instead?
So
we
we're
have something in the
brainstorming.
works,
Yeah.
but we're going to keep that on
Yes.
the DL for now.
Yes.
That makes sense. I think a lot of Wizard Rockers are branching out a bit more. The Blibbering Humdingers just released Positively Gruntled. I say just, it was a couple years ago maybe. Time has no meaning in a pandemic.
Honestly.
So, how does having a Slytherin and a Hufflepuff together affect your band dynamic?
It works very great.
We actually have a song called Slytherins and Hufflepuffs Can Be Friends. I think just because we knew each other already, like Maren and I already just get along so well regardless. Our humor is very similar, so I feel like we can adapt usually. Usually when it comes to songwriting, we both write songs. It'll either be we individually write songs and then kind of come together at the end to do any troubleshooting, or we write songs together and our songwriting styles are different. I'm very much like syllables have to be right. It has to rhyme. It's gonna.
I'm like, I'll just keep playing this note until I finish singing this line, and then we'll get through it.
Yeah, exactly. So just kind of like just being adaptable, because like she was saying, like our songs, we don't have like a really specific sound. And I think that works for us because we like to play around, especially on stage. We like to keep things like chill and casual. So being able to have like a bunch of different sounds really allows us to be more flexible, like in our performances. So it works.
When you get a little
really
bit
well.
of everything and everyone
Yeah.
gets something they like.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it works very well. And we both have our strengths and our weaknesses that generally complement each other fairly well. So we can, whatever is going on, we can handle it.
Being in Florida, I have not gotten to see you perform before. Do your houses play into your stage presences at all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. I tend to be like the chatty one on stage. I will say that's mostly because like I don't really play instruments. I learned how to play the ukulele like over the pandemic. So it's really Maren like doing all the hard work and like changing out like instruments and, you know, making sure, you know, her guitar is like, you know, not going to fall over. So I tend to like try to fill in the gaps when she's like actually doing work on stage and I'm just standing there. Yeah, but I tend to kind of be the one who, I don't want to say like keeps us on track, but just my brain needs to be like, okay, I keep an eye on the time. I make sure, you know, we're doing songs in the right order, which I actually didn't in our last performance. I wrote a note for myself and everything and didn't do that. But usually I tend to like keep us on track and make sure that we're getting through the performance in good time.
Yeah, we kind of go over the set lists for our performances together and kind of piece where we want to put things and decide if like, oh, do we want to do 2 songs in a row that are Harry Potter, or do we want to split them up with something else in between? Do we want to take a break from me playing guitar or ukuleles and do a track song? We kind of go over all of the features of each song to decide how to set up our set list, and then I completely forget about what we're doing and I don't remember the set list. And so Morgan is on top of that and she prints it out and we have it and I don't have to worry about it. So it's very much a compliment to my like forgetfulness and not being able to like keep on track very well. She definitely keeps me on track. But I think our houses definitely show up on stage. I am one to be very snarky and have a lot of quick quips, and there's people in the audience will be like, yep, that's the Slytherin. And so
she'll just be yelling at people in the audience.
Yep.
Past interviews have made me curious about this. Maren, how many instruments do you have?
Oh, God.
And do any of them have names?
I only have one instrument with a name, I think. Actually, no, 2. maybe there's more with names. I clearly don't call them by their names because I don't remember that they have them. But I have my very first guitar was a Ovation back, like a rounded back guitar, and the brand on the neck of the guitar said Applause, and it's kind of a light tan color. And one of my friends back in high school thought it said applesauce instead of applause, so that one is named Applesauce. And I think one of my ukuleles I named Daniel because somebody named Daniel was like, but it also has a dolphin on it, so I can't remember if the ukulele's Daniel or if the dolphin's Daniel. So, and then
you have another ukulele.
Yes, that doesn't have a name. So I have 2 ukuleles, I have 2 guitars, 1 electric guitar, and my banjo is named Harold.
I actually didn't know that.
From Harold and the Purple Crayon. I have a mandolin that I rarely play. I have a melodica that I recently started playing for one of our songs.
That's a lot of fun.
And I have a auto harp that I just got from my grandma. It's been sitting in my grandma's house for who knows how many years, so it's not tuned, and I don't have a current good battery for my tuner to be able to tune it up. And then I have another ukulele that's
Do you?
Yeah, I have my bigger one that's like a lower tenor, I think.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen that one.
I believe that's it. I have 10.
10.
Morgan's counting for me. Yeah.
She wants to she keeps sending me stuff like, hey, we can buy this. She's sending me tambourines.
We got a couple of egg shakers recently.
We did. I'll count the egg shakers. So 11.
Are we counting each egg shaker?
Did you get 2?
You got me 2, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so 12.
I think that's only about a third of what Muggle Snuggle said, so you're doing great. How does this instrument, hoarding, occur in musicians?
I just hoard everything in general. I have too many of everything. And I always am coming up with ideas for different things and never executing anything. Yeah. So I have a song parody in mind that I want to use the auto harp for, but I just haven't gotten around to getting that all refreshed and tuned up and stuff to start working on that.
And I think the thing with musicians is you never really know what inspiration will strike. And then you get this song idea and it's like, I'm going to need a very specific sound for this. And then so you got to find the instruments. No, you have a keyboard.
Oh, yep.
13. Sorry.
Yep, I do. I suck at piano,
lucky
so I block it out.
Yeah.
Yes, lucky number 13.
Yeah, but you start to think I need a very specific sound for this song idea I have, and then you just buy the sound.
And in Morgan's case, she makes the sound.
I make
GarageBand.
Yeah, yeah. I've been experimenting with GarageBand and making tracks. So we have a couple of songs that are our track songs. So kind of playing around with it. I'm not a expert or anything, but sometimes you do kind of get that inspiration. It's okay, this is exactly what I want, and you just play around with it until you get as close as possible.
You mentioned a little bit, y'all have been playing conventions over the last year. So what has that been like?
It's been really fun and high stress. And
yeah,
I think our personalities and knowing each other for so long really helps with how we get through these events and stuff, because right before we're going on, I tend to get very anxious and I'm just worried about everything and not having all my stuff together and whatever. And Morgan's always able to calm me down better than anyone would be able to. So it's been good to have that kind of buddy when we're going on stage and stuff. Yeah. And we always drag along my former roommate as our merch person. So she's also a Hufflepuff. So I get to have my Hufflepuffs in tow. And it's been a great experience for me having my family with me. Tears.
Yeah, it's funny. I was actually on a panel for Convergence last year and they had asked about stage fright. And I said, I don't get it, but I realized that's not true. I get it when I'm Like I used to do acting, or like if I am expecting to sing on my own, but I'm with Marin, I actually don't get stage fright. It's like I know things are going to be fine because I have someone that I trust on stage. So this past year, it's been difficult with the pandemic and the conventions that we've been going to. Like the admissions have been kind of capped. Folks are tuning in from home, so we kind of experimented with our first kind of virtual streams at Convergence this summer. But for me, it's kind of like, okay, well, we're going to do that, but Marin and I are just going to go on stage and have fun and not worry about it. So no matter what's going on, I feel good about being on stage because it's like, I'm just up here with one of my close friends and we're going to sing about Harry Potter and other stuff, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I definitely end up, like, once we're on the stage and, like, getting into it, I'm a lot more relaxed and able to do it. And I know I can just check in with Morgan at any time and we can talk through our eye contact and stuff. But, like, I had a lot of trouble during our performance at Convergence this last summer because I could not see anything because they had a camera with a giant light shining right in my eyes when they were doing a live stream of our performance. And so like that was really throwing me off throughout the whole thing. And I usually try to look out into the audience and kind of like connect with the audience and see how people are reacting, and not being able to see that because every time I look up, I'm blinded was like really throwing me off throughout the thing. But I was like, okay, it's fine. I'll just keep looking at Morgan because then I can't be blinded. So that's one of the like sensory issues that I've experienced. And like, I'm able to kind of get out of it when I come back and like, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to be here in the moment with Morgan and we'll like do our thing. And then it kind of helps get me back in the zone instead of like trying to look at people and being blinded and stressing out about not being able to see, and then I can just redirect and get back into it.
Yeah. I look at you a lot during our performances too. Just because I like your face.
Thanks.
Not the trope of the Slytherin and their emotional support Hufflepuff seems to be perfectly true here. For our first music break, let's begin with Totally Knuts and Rewriting Your Story.
We're rewriting your story, the story that you told us. I thought you'd be with me. We got kind of nervous to see that your journey with us has to end. We took your baton and we gave it to our friends. But filled a bag shot, grew old with her wife, Miranda Goshawk. They had quite the life, writing their textbooks for students at school. Goshawk was funny, Bagshot was cool. Spellmen formed a non-binary club down the street at the local pub. Inigo, Imago, and Emmerich Switch both preferred wizards over a witch. We're rewriting your story, the story that you told us. I thought you'd be with me. We got kind of nervous to see that your journey with us has to end. We took your story and we gave it to our friends. Wilbert Slinkhart was intersex and wrote the book on defending a hex. Rita Skeeter could bug you all day about her new girlfriend she met just last May. Both Newt Scamander and Beetle the Bard were Arrow and Ace, but not like the card. We're rewriting your story, the story that you told us. nervous to see that your journey with us had to end. We took your power and we gave it to our friends. Trimble and Jigger and Waffling and Spore were known as the famous bisexual four. Cassandra Vablatsky was Polly and Pan. Old Zeno Lovegood was sure not a man. He was a gender just like Pokebee. Vindictus Viridian was bi as could be. Lestowed and Libaceous, Borage and Stalk would take what they called a gender fluid walk. We're rewriting your story, the story that you told us. I thought you'd be with me. We got kind of nervous to see that your journey with us has to end. We took Harry Potter and gave it to our friends.
Oh, Lily, I've come to say I'm sorry.
But Severus, it's over now. We're through.
You know I didn't really mean to say that.
But Sevilla, I just can't be seen with you. I don't care what dreadful things you called me. What we saw was repulsive and so vile. In front of everyone you were upended, revealing your unpleasant sense of style. Grey underpants.
Grey underpants.
The vision is burning in my mind. They were so foul and stained, I need to bleach my brain. Pray that I go blind.
Grey underpants. I know there's no one else to blame. I told you not to watch. Now you've seen my crotch and know my secret shame. Grey underpants.
Oh, Severus, I'm so ashamed. I thought you might have gotten some fashion sense now that your mother doesn't dress you anymore. Now that you're into this whole gothy Death Eater thing, I really would expect you to dress better than this. In front of the whole school? How could you do this to me?
Well, I'm usually a very snazzy dresser. You must have just caught me on a bad day.
Well, what about Monday?
I wear my cauldron boxers,
What happens Tuesday?
my Calvins all day long,
And then on Wednesday?
some cotton tidy whities.
What about Thursday?
I sport a satin thong, but the house elves don't do laundry till the weekend. And the only undergarment in my trunk is that saggy, baggy, dingy pair of skivvies. I wear them just to cover up my junk.
Grey underpants.
Grey underpants.
The vision is burning in my mind. They were so foul and stained, I need to bleach my brain. Pray that I go blind.
Grey underpants. I know there's no one else to blame. I told you not to watch. Now you've seen my crotch and know my secret shame. Grey underpants.
Gray underpants.
Gray underpants.
What did I ever see in you? Oh, they were so threadbare. I saw a flash of hair. Now I'm sure you're not a Jew.
Gray underpants.
Gray underpants.
I'll never get you on my broom. If they had just been clean when you saw my thing, we'd be downstairs in my room.
Gray underpants.
Gray underpants.
Gray underpants.
Gray underpants. Gray underpants.
Trusting her heart, she fell in love. She and Arthur defied their pure blood. Choose beliefs over wealth. They grew brave and loyal and true. Full of love, Molly raised her children, choosing home over career. In an age of uncertainty, they were well fed and loved. I want to be like Molly Weasley, being brave for my family. I want to be like Molly Weasley, unafraid to love and be true. I want to be like Molly Weasley, open my home and treating all as her own. Riddled with fear, she let go, sending her children away to learn, choosing schooling over fear. They grew brave and loyal and true. Their mother's love taught them to love, choosing right over wrong. In an age of uncertainty, the Weasleys were strong of heart. I want to be like Molly Weasley, standing for what is true. I want to be like Molly Weasley, unafraid of dark forces. I want to be like Molly Weasley, open my heart so all may feel safe. As war rolled in, as she held on, the children were grown and strong. They chose how she would have and fought for what's right. Their love of family spurred them on, sacrifices full of strife. In an age of uncertainty, Bill chose love and took a wife. I want to be like Molly Weasley, teaching others how to be brave. I want to be like Molly Weasley, unafraid of the unknown. I want to be like Molly Weasley, teach vulnerability as strength. The final battle she volunteered, family at her side, choosing together to fight, all brave, loyal, and true. Insistent, protecting her daughter, reconciled with prodigal son, all family into the fray. The battle had just begun. I want to be like Molly Weasley, being brave, a long family. I want to be like Molly Weasley, protecting with all my might. I want to be like Molly Weasley, forgive and fight in the same night.
Family torn apart, chaos pursued together. Only in cause choosing to give their all, fighting for those loyal and true. A loss of a son, heart ripped into grief. Absolute instead of falling apart. She stood up and fought anew. I want to be like Molly Weasley, being brave for those alive. I want to be like Molly Weasley, keeping my eye on the prize. I want to be like Molly Weasley. No, I can still live when I want to die. Never just a housewife, others may have viewed her as such, choosing family over all. She's brave, loyal, and true. Toe to toe with Bellatrix, no longer a stranger to fear. Instead of letting it go, love powered over dark. I want to be like Molly Weasley, always make the loving choice. I want to be like Molly Weasley, unafraid to use my voice. I want to be like Molly Weasley, wife, mother, and lover, and a friend to all. I want to be like Molly Weasley, so much more than her name. I want to be Molly Weasley, standing up for all.
That was Totally Knuts singing Rewriting Your Story, Lily's Worst Memory by the Blibbering Humdingers, and I Want to Be Like Molly Weasley by Muggle Snuggle. Lily's Worst Memory was dedicated by WZRD's magical patron Jeff to his friend Irvin, saying, "Thanks for sharing some rock talk with me on Alohomora. I promise the song we wrote together will be out soon." Now let's get back to the interview. So my patrons get to submit questions for you, and this one was impressive. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Hogwarts is having a karaoke contest, and you've made it to the finals, but separately. There's some sort of inter-house rivalry, I guess. So you need a partner. What character do you pick? And what song do you sing?
Take it away, Morgan.
Yeah, I was thinking about this all morning, actually, because I remember like, oh, I guess I should kind of prepare for this, shouldn't I? So for this one, I think that I would have the Weasley twins as my partner, and I'm counting them as one person. And just for the laughs, I think we do really great singing Play That Funky Music, White Boy. I think that would just be such a great time, and just I probably wouldn't even be able to get through it because I'd be laughing so hard. And I already do that in our performances too. Like I just have to take like a 2-minute laugh break.
Yep. I throw inhalers at her.
It's like we have our inhalers in hand because I'll just start wheezing. It's like, okay, I need a minute. So
we often forget to breathe on stage.
Yes, we keep writing songs where you can't breathe. I don't know why we keep doing
no
that.
Breath marks.
But I think that would be a lot of fun, and just Fred Weasley's the love of my life. So being able to perform with him and his brother would be a lot of fun.
And the other one. When I was thinking about this question, I was thinking about the Goblet of Fire movie and the Weird Sisters.
The Weird Sisters, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to sing with that guy. And we're going to sing their song. Do you want to dance?
Do the hippogriff.
Do the hippogriff dance. Ma, ma, ma.
I think it would be a good one, but also technically cheating, because you're both professionals.
I don't think that's cheating. I think that's very clever Slytherin rules lawyering.
Yes.
Of course. Yeah.
I'm being resourceful. Thank you. Yeah, everyone told me I cheated on the house sorting thing.
She did.
I was being resourceful. I Googled. Because I first got Ravenclaw, and I would not get in that room, common room. Yeah, I would be the Neville with the riddles. I would not be able to get in. I'd
You'd
be
have
like
to stay
sleeping
with me.
outside. And then I got Gryffindor because I tried to answer questions that I thought were leaning towards more Slytherin. And then I went and like, okay, let me do some research on how this algorithm works.
I just took it and got Hufflepuff. That's literally every single quiz that's happened.
Yeah.
You're a Hufflepuff. Congrats. Like, okay.
The hat does take your opinion into account, your preferences, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do think you might be the second Slytherin that I've had on that cheated to get Slytherin.
It's resourcefulness.
Coloring outside the lines. You all have seen the scene change a lot over the last decade, and you obviously yourselves are still evolving and have learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you have for newcomers? We're sort of seeing a renaissance of the genre right now. What would you tell them?
Keep it up. Have fun with it. Definitely figure out your technical necessities if you're going to be performing. Like, there's still a lot that Morgan and I need to learn about that side of the performance aspect. And like, even at the last Doctor Who convention we did, which is called Console Room, they were asking us about which microphone stands we wanted to use for our instruments and for our voices. And we were both like, I don't know. They were like, do you want the boom mic for your voice, or do you want the boom mic for it? And we were like,
I don't know what that means.
Just put a microphone in it. I don't know. There's a lot of that stuff that I still want to learn about. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Morgan?
I would say just have fun with it. I think that's definitely something, because I tend to be someone who is like a perfectionist and wants everything to go just right. And I think the biggest thing to remember is just have fun with it. I know when we first started, I wasn't playing any instruments and I was still very new at making tracks. And so I was kind of concerned, like, we're not like super complex, I guess was kind of my thinking. But you don't need to be, because we're having fun. We're having fun writing our songs. We're having fun rehearsing our songs. And we're having fun performing our songs. So I feel like, the technical side is definitely important. Like, you definitely need to like learn that stuff. But you don't have to be perfect at it ever, really. But especially when you're first starting out. And each performance and every time you do something, it's going to be a learning experience. Because now we know, okay, there's 2 different kind of mic stands. So now we know if that question comes up again, then we can, okay, here's what we would prefer. But as long as you're having fun and, you're putting your art out there, then you really don't have to worry about too much else. Everything will kind of come in time, and you got to learn to like adapt. It's also like experimenting with each performance as well. Like, how do we want our setup to actually look? And now that I've added ukulele like on my side, then it's like, okay, now we have to add an extra microphone stand, and how are we standing and how close we're standing, because I like to stand really close, but then like all the it's all feedback, and it's like, well, this sucks.
Yeah, we had to scooch the microphones at this last performance a little bit because they like felt really far apart, and I was like,
so
whoa, like, do the last people hate each other or something? Yeah. Like, why are they so far apart? At Convergence last summer, I didn't have a stand for my ukulele, and like, I set it on a chair, but the stage we were on, it kind of had a little bounce to it. And so my ukulele fell off the chair like 3 times throughout the performance. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Our most recent convention, I had a stand for my guitar and one for my ukulele and felt a lot more comfortable. I positioned them in a different place than I usually have put my instruments, which ended up working a lot better. So it's a lot of trial and error, figuring out like what is going to work best and how are we going to go about doing this? And
and having those familiar faces in the audience. That's why we drag Galen, our merch girl, around every place, because having at least one familiar face in the audience really helps us.
Absolutely.
But when we see the same tech folks and see the same, the geek community like really overlaps. So seeing the same geeks in the audience, that really helps.
When we were leaving Console Room this year, one of the people who helps run it, he was like, our main dude the last time at the convention. He was like checking in with us the whole time. This year was a lot smaller and things are more toned down, but a couple of years back we like had somebody running around like finding us and checking it. Do you guys need anything? Morgan was like, I want some strawberry ice cream.
Diva. I got to be a diva for the very first time and like demanded ice cream.
And they brought her strawberry
for me. It was really nice.
It was great. And I was like, this is amazing. But the man who was helping us, he at the end of this con was like, oh, I'm starting my own convention, and if you guys would be interested, we'd like to have you. And so it's like, once you get into that kind of community, you can start like building off of that. It's been fun to like build that community and build friendships within it, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So what are you working on these days? Any album plans, maybe a tour?
Nope.
Well, things have still been really busy for us during the pandemic, and just musical motivation has been down for both of us. I know in the last couple of weeks or the last couple of months really have been super busy for me. So right now we're kind of giving ourselves a break and not really forcing kind of like the musical motivation. We do have like songs in work and just kind of more like expanding our song selection. We do plan on doing Convergence this summer. I believe it's the first or second week of August this year. And so we always plan to do Convergence. So if you miss us anywhere else, we're going to be there during their harmonic Convergence. Likely be on a couple panels for that, but we usually do that individually. We do have plans to do a SlytherPuff panel, so we'll see if that gets set up. That should be fun. But besides that, we'll just kind of...
SlytherPuff, ask me how.
Exactly. So we'll just kind of see in the coming months. Things that have been settling down for us lately. So hopefully we'll be able to get some new songs out. Album-wise, it's probably going to be... It's pricey.
We
it's very pricey,
have one album on Bandcamp, and we've had people like, do you have a physical copy? And we're like, what?
Yeah.
Who are you?
People
You don't
still
want a
want
digital
CDs.
copy? Like, we don't have the money. Like, we barely had the money to cover what we did record and put on the internet. And then we're like, it's so expensive to get CDs and make them. And
then having to carry them around.
Yeah.
Like, we already carry all the instruments and stuff. So
yeah, we made some prints of pictures of us that we put a code on the back for our Bandcamp, and so like people could buy
like a physical thing
and then also get the album. So that kind of worked out well when you were doing that. But I think we did Convergence in August, and then we kind of like didn't get together until like a couple weeks before we were going to be doing Console Room in January. But at this point we hadn't done anything brand new, so we weren't like, since Convergence, like we had some new stuff at Convergence, but then we were like, okay, well now it'll be new to Console Room so we can do it again. So we just kind of flipped around our set list a little bit and took out some songs, added others, but we know all of the songs that we have right now well enough to feel comfortable. If we could just throw a set list together, we're like, okay, we can go from here.
Yeah. So that's why we kind of want to focus more on writing new songs, because then we can do like a if we have certain fans who kind of like follow along with us, or at least in the same conventions that we go to, we can have like a good mix. So that's going to be our focus for the next couple months heading into the summertime, is get a few more songs in there.
It's time for our final music break. Here's Seriously Has a Pea and Witch Face.
Can't stand your silly vows. Look at your muggle clothes. Your hair is really such a pain. Yours looks like snakes. You're failing your potions class. Your charms will never pass. I think your skill is getting less. Coming from you. Can't you see this rivalry is chasing our plans? So many witches in the kitchen, skinny
enemy house. They're an enemy house. They're an enemy house. They're an enemy house.
I
They're
said
an
beautified
enemy
fic.
house. They're an
7 days a
enemy
week.
house. They're an
Wet
enemy
ass dreary.
house.
Let
They're
our
an
seeker men
enemy
seek.
house. They're an enemy
yeah,
house. They're
yeah,
an enemy
yeah,
house. They're an
yeah.
enemy
Yeah, you
house.
looking
They're
at
an
some wet ass
enemy
dreary.
house.
Stay
They're
up
an
all throughout the
enemy
night,
house.
reading
They're
wet
an
ass
enemy
dreary.
house.
Catch
They're
your
an
moments, peace and
enemy
quiet
house.
with
They're
this
an
wet ass
enemy
dreary.
house. They're an
Enemies to friends to
enemy
lovers.
house.
Fiend
They're an
fire couldn't get no
enemy
hotter.
house.
Tongue so
They're an
sharp like Sectum
enemy
Sempra.
house.
They meet
They're an
again, spit it out like
enemy
pumpkin.
house. They're
Eighth
an
year, still
enemy
schoolboy
house.
rivals. Or down and out after post-war trials. Bump into each other, curse and splutter. So many sneers till one of them smiles. Stupid hair, stupid green eyes. More than tempers start to rise. Draco's got fat, juicy apples. And Harry really wanna bite. Back and forth, take the piss. Can't tell his father about this. Tug of war, battle of wit. Then a fight turned into a kiss.
Hating him, loving him, oblivious, they're pining. Draco changes and does his best to be redeemed. And of course, you know he's so good with little Teddy. Fiery emotions burn down to something soft and sweet. The dark mark on his wrist. Harry looks up as he gives it a lick. You really ain't never gonna feel the same as the moment they say first names. Now get more snakes and more lions in this wet ass dreary. Expand the world and the magic with this wet ass dreary.
Merlin, laugh your bloody ass off.
With this wet ass dreary. Now leave a kudos if you wanna see some wet ass dreary.
Look, I love queering canon, the representation, the consent, pleasure, and BDSM. So many healing stories of inspiration, the liberatory imagination. Harry is Desi, Hermione is Black. Cho is a person like the body in lab. Love neuroqueer, Draco, Neville, and Luna. And of course, pretty much everyone's trans. We all love Jenny, in fact, she's with Blaze. Or better yet, sometimes she's gay. Gives you that respect women juice. The Slash don't bash either way. Narcissa knows best. Lucius is campy. Hermione and Ron are just glad Harry's happy. They working things out, but not always with talking. The Womp and Willow's the best place for snogging. Woo!
We love it, but we don't live it alone. 803 got an archive of our own. In each other's arms, they can finally find a home. Under our care, these pets have really grown. Like no one else got that shared trauma. Forgive the flaws and shed their armor. Big D stands for big drama. Looking straight through to the person under. The mutual need and obvious greed. Buckhan and Jerry will never be, so we lucky to ask whose is it. And know it's all ours without no limits. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, you looking at some wet ass dreary. We be feeling all the feels, reading wet ass dreary. This song's my love letter to the wet ass dreary. Now throw some shade or hex the haters, it's our wet ass dreary. Mad love to the creators, making wet ass dreary. I'm talking what, that's some wet ass dreary. We ain't never gonna stop loving wet ass dreary.
They're an enemy house. 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 They're an
You're not the wizard that I thought you were, a pure candy-loving magical myth. Your death is bringing out a disturbing darkness that I kind of wish you'd been buried with. I'm hearing here say that you dabbled in the dark arts and your dad made muggles for a good laugh. Now that you're gone, I wish I'd taken the time to ask you about the person that you were in the past. Oh, you're not the wizard that I thought you were. I'm hearing things I'd rather have been forgot. When I asked you what you saw when you looked into the mirror, you just told me you were holding some socks. Oh, what did you see in the mirror? Was it warm and woolly winter wear? Or was it the ghost of your sister? What did you see in there? Now I'm the same age as you were then, but I'm struggling to comprehend how you could ever entertain the thought that magic is might, how being talented could give you the right. I know you were entranced by the power and slickness of that ambitious wizard supremacist, and it makes me so sick, the greater good, so sick the things that you would do for it. Oh, you're not the wizard that I thought you were. I'm hearing things I'd rather have been forgot. The pathway to the power you sought meant means so mean. I'm still coming to terms with the shock. Now I'm seeing you in the mirror, but is it really your blue eyeball in there? Can I trust it? Do you even care about me here? The boy who lived, do you not the wizard I thought you were.
That was Witch Face by Seriously Has a P, Wad by Bisexual Harry, and You're Not the Wizard by Harry and the Potters. Thank you so much for joining me today. For magical friends who are not physically present, they have stuck with me through my recording software quitting 4 times. And I'm very grateful for your patience and chatting with you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us. This is great, despite the technical difficulties.
Where can WZRD listeners find you and your music?
We have a Linktree link that has all of our other links on it. If you go to linktr.ee/SlytherPuff, that will give you links to all of our social media and everything. And our album link is on there. I believe it's $15 on Bandcamp.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
If you want to buy that.
Yeah. For the most up-to-date stuff on what we're doing, probably following our Facebook page is going to be the best. I think that's SlytherPuff.mn.
Yes.
Facebook.com, SlytherPuffMN, something like that. It's a picture of us, so you'll be able to tell. But usually that's where we create our events and do the latest updates on when and where we'll be performing. But you can always reach out to our email address, our albums on Bandcamp, and any other music that we upload will be there. So I don't know, can you follow stuff on Bandcamp? I don't.
Yes, you can.
Okay, follow us on Bandcamp.
Our Facebook.com/SlytherPuffMN, no dot. Okay. Our email address has a dot, so we get confused.
Yeah. We had to add the MN because there were
there was like another SlytherPuff on Facebook, and we were like,
but not as cute as us. Yeah, not as cute and wonderful as us. So
definitely follow the right one, which is us. And then we have some merch through Redbubble.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that's also on the Linktree as well. Mm-hmm. We have no idea what it looks like. We have gotten some emails saying you made a sale, and it was like
it'll be like
t-shirt.
People from London.
Yeah, and so they probably don't know that we are a band. They're probably just like, I'm a SlytherPuff.
Yeah,
so
it works.
We have no idea what it looks like. So if any of you end up buying something, please post a picture to our Facebook because we'd love to see what it looks like.
All right, magical friends. If you heard a song you really liked today, check out the transcript at wzrdradiopod.com and consider buying it to support the artist. After all, without our Wizard Rockers, we wouldn't be here. If you want to support WZRD and the Yes All Witches grant, join the WZRD Radio Patreon at patreon.com/WZRDRadiopod. It's just $2 Muggle a month, or $24 a year if you decide to pay up front. If you're not up for a monthly commitment, you can check out the merch store at shop.wzrdradiopod.com or leave a review on Apple Podcasts. And if you want to get in touch with me for any reason, complaints, questions, or whatever, you have no shortage of options. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok at WZRDRadiopod, leave a comment on the transcript, or email me at wzrdradiopod@gmail.com. And now, here's SlytherPuff.
So this song is the very first song we wrote together back in 2010. And this is about the love of my life, Fred Weasley, and spoilers, his demise at the end of the series. So we hope you enjoy.
This was the basement writing session that we did back when we were still in high school, and it sparked the rest of where SlytherPuff came from. So it's our debut song.
Fred Weasley, he was the love of my life. I miss Fred Weasley, I was going to be his smile.